Hey guys, today I'm going to walk you through how we managed to generate Smart Homes Electrical £88,000 in 30 days and how you can too. It's very, very simple. So, this is a very simple and repeatable process for installers. It mostly comes from just a lack of understanding. You guys are busy on site. You don't often have the times to look into things like this to be able to generate yourselves more leads, but it's a lot easier than you think. So this is a 5-step system I'm going to walk you through. So number one is just get clear on who your ideal customer profile is. Yeah, just understand. Okay, do you want to look for commercial solar? Do you want to look for printing companies? Do you want to look for farms? Are you looking for homeowners? Are you looking for 3-bed homeowners? Are you looking for new builds? What are you looking for, right? And what's the location? Ideally, the closer the better. So nail down that location that you're looking for. So what's the deal size? Who are the decision makers? Are they homeowners? You got to tailor all of this to the people that you're talking to, right? And tailor your language to and your sales cycles to those people. I bet a lot of people don't do this. Do you guys draw out your own sales cycle? Do you have that written out and what that looks like? Do you follow a specific process to, okay, is it a homeowner? Do you have a process to going to the home, getting the proposal to them, doing a flash sale to get the deal done on the same day? Or do you send them the proposal, let them have a bit of time to think about it, book in a follow-up in-person presentation so you can get them a more accurate quote? How would you do this, right? This is really, really important. Number two is build targeted data. So you're never going to get past, you're never going to get leads without having, first of all, data. There's so many places you can get data from. You can get people to hand build prospect lists. You can get data online, which is scraped. There's so many different ways that you can get data, but that's where it starts, right? People who have, if it's homeowners, people who have opted in. For businesses, people who might not have opted in, but have an inherent pain point for what you're trying to solve. So what are those sorts of companies? With the homeowner data who have opted in, you can get higher quality data. So people who have opted in to be contacted about the service you provide. So for example, if you provide solar, do you provide heat pumps? Do you provide boilers? Who are those types of customers? And if they've opted in to be contacted about that service, then they're going to be a higher quality lead. But the next thing that you want to focus on is how are you going to reach out to those people? Is it going to be through a call and then a text sequence? Because once you have these leads, you don't want to just give up after the first phone call. They might not answer the phone call. So make sure you're reaching out to prospects on different platforms, right? I'll give you an example. So I have someone opt into a Facebook ad today, and they put in a landline number, so I wasn't able to get in contact with them. What I did was I sent them an email on their email. I also sent them I tried to call through the landline. It didn't answer. So I was like, okay, looked up this person on LinkedIn, found them on LinkedIn, added them on LinkedIn, mentioning that they opted into our ad. They responded pretty quickly. So I managed to drop them a text again, but they didn't respond. So I went to their profile, used Apollo to actually find their mobile number and then gave them a call and then booked them in same day. And we've already sent the contract over. So just taking that speed to lead approach where you're really getting into them, while they're a hot lead, because the faster you get to them, the better they're going to be. So make sure that you're finding different ways. You're not just relying on one touch point. You're not just sending them an email. You're not just giving them one call. You're finding other ways of getting in contact with them. So you don't want to spray and pray, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you're hitting those different touch points, right? Don't rely on just one touch point. So build rapport. First interactions count. You never get another chance at your first impression. So make sure your first impression with them is going to be a really, really good one. They have a positive view of you. You seem professional. You seem like you want to help them. You come across in a way where it's really, really trying to just help them beyond anything else. You just come across like that, and you go a long way. This is why people with no clients often get clients, because they just care more. It's about caring at the end of the day. And once you start getting your calendar filled up with sales appointments, a lot of people lose that care aspect. Make sure that they know that you care about them. And then next of all, you want to make sure that these prospects are qualified. So, check their budget. How would they look to pay for whatever you're providing? If it's high ticket, it's like, okay, look, do you have finance providers behind you? Because if you don't have finance providers behind you, then you're not going to be able to capture a lot of that attention that you could be capturing if you did have that behind you. Number two is authority check. So are they a decision maker? Are they just a low-level BDM, or are they actually the facilities director who actually makes decisions on the facility? You want to make sure that you're really differentiating that and understanding the process. A simple question you can ask is, okay, and are you the owner of the building? Okay, and then beyond that, just say, okay, so what's that process look like then? Like, what's the decision-making process behind that? And really understand like what are the links in the chain that you need to go through to be able to get that decision, and how can you best suit your pitch so that you're going to get the best chance of closing. Site suitability, making sure that their building is of good quality. What questions can you ask them? Can you ask them, do they have dormers? Again, are they the owner of the property? All these sorts of things. If it's something to do with their plumbing, ask them about that. Is it double glazing? Do you have double glazing? How old's the building? All these sorts of questions are really, really important if that's relevant to your business. But it's all about saving time down the funnel, right? If you can save time at the top with people who definitely aren't going to go ahead, then just eliminate that from the top of the funnel. So you save time. You don't want to go to site with people who aren't qualified. So only pass through genuine qualified sales opportunities, especially if you're going to site and dedicating resources to that. So next of all is feedback and optimization. You're not always going to get it right the first time. So what you need to do is start collecting some data, figure out where you're at in terms of the leads that you're bringing in. Okay, these ones are tire kickers. Okay, how can I eliminate that at the top of funnel marketing stage? What questions can I ask to eliminate those people? And it's going to cause friction, but at the same time, you don't want to be letting through everyone through the funnel. Next of all is with Smart Homes Electrical, they weren't just paying for dead end opportunities. With us, what they were doing is they were getting leads that were qualified through the qualifying questions that we were asking them and helping them go through, so they can get those qualified leads and not just tire kickers. We were fully aligned with his process and the way that he likes to do things, as that's so important with any company that you work with. And there's no long-term commitments as well. I don't believe in long-term commitments from any end, right? It's you just got to make sure that you can prove your worth and then carry on going from there. So if you're interested in learning a bit more about how you can get your pipeline stacked, then DM me to book a call, comment on this post, drop me an email at roman@tnwmarketing.com. There we go. You can hit me up on there. I'll map out all of this stuff for you. Map out your market, map out your target clients and how we'd look to approach it. Even if it's just not from a sales standpoint, even if it's just general advice for free, I'm more than happy to do that. So even if we don't work together, you'll leave with a clear plan. So key takeaway, it's not about more leads, it's about better leads, right? If I can get my guys on 4 to 5 good qualified calls per day, as opposed to 15 unqualified calls, they're going to be more burnt out anyway. So what you want is those less opportunities, but more qualified ones. And that's exactly how Smart Homes managed to close 88K in 30 days, right? Let's see if we can help you build the same system.